Islam Makhachev and Khabib Nurmagomedov are two of the most dominant grapplers in mixed martial arts history, both products of the legendary Dagestani fighting system. If a hypothetical fight were to take place between them, it would be a fascinating clash of styles, experience, and skill sets, making it one of the most intriguing matchups in combat sports history. At their core, both fighters share a foundation in sambo, wrestling, and grappling, but Khabib's pressure-heavy approach and relentless ground and pound have historically overwhelmed even the best strikers and grapplers. Islam, while a protege of Khabib and a close friend, has developed a style that is subtly different. He is more methodical in his takedown setups, blending his wrestling seamlessly with striking, and has arguably shown greater proficiency in submissions when compared to Khabib's ground and pound dominance. A major factor in this matchup is experience. Khabib retired undefeated at 29-0, never tasting defeat in the UFC, and rarely even losing a round. His dominance inside the octagon was characterized by his ability to impose his will from the very first exchange. Fighters who trained with him, including Islam, have always spoken about the intensity of his grappling and his ability to break opponents mentally and physically. Islam, though highly dominant himself, has experienced more adversity in his career. He has suffered a knockout loss, which is something Khabib never had to endure in MMA. That single blemish, while long past, could hint at a difference in durability when compared to Khabib, who absorbed heavy strikes from elite strikers like Justin Gaethje, Conor McGregor, and Dustin Poirier without ever showing signs of trouble. In a pure grappling scenario, it would be interesting to see how Makhachev's more polished submission game would match up against Khabib's unparalleled top control. Islam's ability to transition quickly and attack submissions might make him more dangerous on the ground in certain positions, whereas Khabib's ability to suffocate and smother his opponents makes it nearly impossible for them to set up any offense. The battle for control would likely be the defining factor of their exchanges. On the feet, Islam has developed a striking game that arguably surpasses Khabib's. His counter-striking is sharper, and his ability to mix in kicks, knees, and precise punches has been on full display in recent fights. Khabib, on the other hand, had a more straightforward striking style, primarily using it as a means to close distance and force his opponents into grappling exchanges. That said, he demonstrated an iron chin and an ability to land significant shots when needed. His knockdown of Conor McGregor in their fight was a prime example of his underrated power and ability to surprise opponents who underestimated his stand-up. Cardio would be another factor in this hypothetical battle. Khabib's relentless pace and pressure were unmatched. He would drag opponents into deep waters, forcing them to work at a pace they simply could not sustain. Islam, while also possessing elite endurance, does not apply the same overwhelming forward pressure. Instead, he picks his moments carefully, which could work both for and against him in a matchup with Khabib. If Islam could keep the fight at his pace, he might be able to find openings to capitalize on. However, if Khabib dictated the tempo, Islam could find himself forced into a more defensive approach than usual. The mental aspect of this fight is also intriguing. Islam has always looked up to Khabib, considering him a mentor and brother. Would that dynamic affect how he approached the fight? Would he hesitate to push forward the way he does against other opponents? Khabib, on the other hand, has always had an unwavering self-belief. His confidence was unshakable, and he never seemed to doubt his ability to dominate any opponent. That mindset alone could be a significant factor in a closely contested fight. One of the most unique aspects of this fight is that both men would already know each other's strengths and weaknesses intimately. They have trained together for years, refining their skills against one another. This means that neither would be surprised by what the other brings to the table. Their familiarity could lead to an incredibly tactical chess match, where minor adjustments and small details determine the outcome. In training, it is said that Islam has won exchanges against Khabib, just as Khabib has dominated Islam at times. But a real fight under the bright lights of a championship setting is a completely different challenge. Another key element would be coaching. If Khabib and Islam were to fight, who would corner them? Khabib's late father, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, was instrumental in molding both fighters into the champions they are. Without his guidance, it would be interesting to see how their camps would approach this fight. Khabib, now a coach himself, has helped shape Islam's recent dominance, meaning his strategic mind would be working against his own student. Islam, meanwhile, has developed his own understanding of fight IQ, and it would be fascinating to see how he adapts mid-fight. If we consider the possible ways this fight could play out, there are a few likely scenarios. One possibility is that Khabib's relentless wrestling and top control gradually wear Islam down, leading to a late finish or a dominant decision victory. Another scenario is that Islam's striking and submission game create enough problems for Khabib to force a different kind of fight than he is used to, potentially leading to Islam controlling the exchanges and winning rounds. The most unpredictable aspect is whether Islam's takedown defense, which has been tested and proven effective, could stand up to Khabib's legendary grappling. If the fight were to go 5 rounds, the longer it lasts, the more it likely favors Khabib. His ability to push the pace, his superior ground control, and his unbreakable will have historically overwhelmed opponents as the fight progresses. However, Islam's ability to create openings with his striking and submissions could provide him with opportunities to change the course of the fight early on. If he can hurt Khabib standing, it could alter the way Khabib approaches his grappling entries. Ultimately, this hypothetical fight represents one of the greatest stylistic matchups in MMA history. It's a battle of teacher versus student, of relentless pressure versus calculated precision, of an undefeated legend versus a rising champion who has carved his own path. There would be no easy answer, no clear favorite, and no predictable outcome. It would be a test of who can impose their will more effectively, who can adapt in the moment, and who can find that one opening to capitalize on. No matter the result, it would be a spectacle that fans would talk about for generations. In the world of mixed martial arts, comparisons between fighters have always been a topic of heated discussion, particularly when it comes to two of the most dominant figures in lightweight history. Both have trained under the same banner, sharing the philosophy of relentless grappling, discipline, and an unwavering commitment to victory. The debate surrounding who stands as the better fighter is often fueled by statistics, fight styles, accomplishments, and even intangible qualities such as mental toughness and legacy. While both have left undeniable marks on the sport, the deeper analysis of their journeys, strengths, and impacts sheds light on a debate that is anything but simple. One of the most striking similarities between the two is their foundation in Sambo and wrestling, which has served as the bedrock of their fighting styles. From early on, their training under Nurmagomedov instilled a unique approach that emphasized pressure, control, and positional dominance. This method has proven to be nearly unstoppable, as their grappling-heavy approach has systematically broken down opponents inside the cage. Yet, despite their shared background, there are notable differences in how each fighter applies their skills within the octagon. One aspect that stands out is the approach to striking. While both have relied heavily on their grappling, one has demonstrated a more refined striking evolution over time. As fights progressed, improvements in striking defense, counterpunching, and the ability to set up takedowns through feints became evident. While neither is known as a knockout artist, precision and timing have allowed for key moments where striking became a deciding factor. The ability to mix in striking with grappling seamlessly is an area where subtle differences emerge in their approaches. When it comes to career trajectories, the journey of each fighter has been unique in its own right. One has had the luxury of building upon the legacy established by the other, benefiting from the experience, guidance, and lessons learned. This has allowed for the refinement of certain techniques and strategies that have been tested at the highest levels. While one had to pave the way, setting records and proving the dominance of their style, the other had the advantage of inheriting a tested blueprint while adding their own modifications along the way. Dominance in the lightweight division is not an easy feat. The competition is stacked with elite wrestlers, powerful strikers, and submission specialists, all looking to claim the top spot. Maintaining an undefeated record in such an environment is a testament to discipline, preparation, and execution. The ability to impose a game plan regardless of the opponent is one of the strongest indicators of greatness. While statistics such as takedown accuracy, control time, and finishing rate provide insight into effectiveness, there are also intangible factors that influence the conversation. One of the most significant elements in the discussion is legacy. What defines a greater legacy? Is it the number of title defenses, the level of competition faced, or the way victories were secured? The fighter who set the foundation achieved an undefeated career, retiring at the peak of their dominance without suffering a blemish on their record. The other, continuing the legacy, has had to carry the weight of expectations while facing a new wave of challengers eager to break the chain of dominance. The pressure to maintain excellence is immense, and the ability to do so while evolving as a fighter speaks volumes. Beyond statistics and technique, the psychological aspect of fighting plays a crucial role. Mental strength, composure under pressure, and the ability to make adjustments in real time are key factors in separating great fighters from legends. One has displayed an unmatched level of calmness inside the octagon, never allowing emotions to dictate actions. The other, while carrying the same composure, has shown an ability to adapt to challenges, showcasing resilience in situations where adjustments were necessary. Both mentalities contribute to success, but the application of this mindset in fights can define key moments. Another element that adds depth to the discussion is adaptability. As the sport evolves, fighters must constantly refine their skill sets to stay ahead of the competition. One of the most important attributes of an elite fighter is the ability to make mid-fight adjustments, recognizing openings and capitalizing on weaknesses. The ability to adapt to different styles, whether against high-level strikers, submission specialists, or fellow wrestlers, determines long-term success. Some fighters rely on sheer dominance, never needing to make drastic changes, while others demonstrate versatility by adjusting their approach based on the opponent's strengths and weaknesses. The influence of training partners and coaching also plays a significant role. Having access to elite training partners allows for constant growth and refinement. Training in a room filled with world-class athletes ensures that weaknesses are identified and addressed. The ability to train with high-caliber grapplers, strikers, and wrestlers daily creates an environment where excellence is not just encouraged, but required. While one fighter had the benefit of setting the standard, the other had the advantage of being sharpened by the lessons learned before them. And if they ever did fight, one thing is certain: neither man would walk away the same.